We're right in the thick of things in Season 8 of Fortnite, but have you ever taken a step back and thought how far the game has come over the course of these 8 seasons? Fortnite is unrecognizable from Season 1, and that's due to all the amazing additions and changes Epic Games has made to the game. Today, we'll be taking a look at some of the best changes the AAA developer has made to Fortnite. When Season 8 came along and we saw the whole pirate theme, we just knew that there'd be some treasure involved. We just didn't know how Epic Games would do it, but now we know. If you got the buried treasure item like Arbuckle, then it's very simple. When you take the item out, you'll see a red line pointing in a specific direction. Now, all you have to do is follow that line, and you'll find some treasure that you'll have to swing at with your harvesting tool to uncover. Now, what's inside? Oh, not much. Just a bunch of legendary weapons and items. Yeah! The loot inside is crazy, which makes sense considering how rare it is to find these buried treasure maps in the game. This is a great addition to the game that could give you such an awesome loadout, especially in a solo game where you don't need to share. The first few seasons of Fortnite were pretty awesome, but they were missing one thing: live events. Sure, near the end of Season 3, meteors started falling from the sky, but it was the rocket launch in Season 4 that was the first of its kind in Fortnite. As GamesRadar shows us, players put their differences aside for a match to see this once-in-a-lifetime event. We thought that it would hit Tilted Towers, but nope, a rift moved it away, and when we saw the giant rift in the sky in the middle of the map, we knew it would have big implications for Season 5, and it did. There have been plenty of live events since then, but the rocket launch introduced this staple to Fortnite. We'd later see Kevin the Cube take us to a new dimension and the Ice King cover the map in snow, and we're sure there's even more to come. For the first few seasons, the Fortnite map was essentially just a big green plain with a few mountains and some named locations. It wasn't until Season 5 when we'd get to see a whole new biome added to Fortnite in the southeast corner of the map. TBNRFrags gives us a tour of these locations, and we were so pumped for Season 5 when we saw these new locations on the map. In the desert biome, we got Paradise Palms, which was supposed to be the new Tilted Towers. Yeah, that didn't pan out, as well as the Mexican Village and the new and improved racetrack. We even got Lazy Links to replace Anarchy Acres, which wasn't the best location, but there were plenty of ATKs there, so it was all good. In Season 7, we got the Iceberg biome in the southwest corner of the map, which diversified the Fortnite map and then made things significantly less green. When Crossplay was first introduced to Fortnite, it was such an awesome feature, but Sony didn't want to play nice. They refused to allow their players to play with those on Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. Their CEO, Kenichiro Yoshida, even dismissed the whole crossplay controversy by saying that PlayStation is the best place to play, which was one heck of a stretch considering it was probably the worst console to play it on with the whole crossplay issue at the time. Well, okay, maybe it wasn't as bad as Fortnite on the Switch was with all the bugs and everything, but it definitely made players want to avoid playing Fortnite on the system. Thankfully, Sony changed their stance on the whole crossplay issue and began a crossplay beta in September, which was a huge step for the stubborn company. Now, we can play with anyone on any platform, which is something most games can't do. When Epic Games gave us the opportunity to earn a free battle pass for Season 8, we took it with open arms. Their motto was, "Save your V-Bucks, this one's on us," and we were very thankful for that. TheLlamaSir made an awesome guide to help players complete all 13 challenges all over the Season 7 map. He's a really nice guy. The battle pass normally goes for around 950 V-Bucks or about 10 real bucks, so Epic Games could have been greedy and taken our money, but they decided not to. They are good guys too. Now that it's here, we could say it's pretty good for a free one. We love the Luck skin and the hilarious Peely skin that we can't stop using the Congo emote with for some reason. Giving us the opportunity to earn a free battle pass was a selfless act by Epic Games, and we applaud them for their generosity. When Fortnite just started, we praised the fact that it didn't have vehicles. The map was much smaller than PUBG's and games were hectic and fast enough already, but we quickly changed our tune. Just like Target 3D Gaming, we got bored of the lack of vehicles after a few seasons and Epic Games took notice. They started introducing vehicles to the game, and while our favorite has to be the new Baller vehicle because it's an absolute blast to use, all of the other vehicles were pretty good too. The shopping cart was the first vehicle we got in the game, if you can even call it that, and we later got the ATK, the Quad Crasher, and the Stormwing plane, which we'll get into in detail very soon. Out of all of these vehicles, the only ones currently in the game are the Quad Crasher and the Baller, but we're sure that we'll get even more in the future. While the Stormwing planes were fun to use at the beginning of Season 7, it didn't last long. They were a great way for players like Target 3D Gaming to get around the Fortnite map, but everything else about them sucked. No one used them to get into aerial dogfights. That wasn't what they were used for at all. Players would just dive bomb into other players and take them out with minimal effort, which was so annoying. We couldn't even put it into words. To top it all off, you wouldn't even take falling damage if you decided to get out of a plane in midair because it would just activate your glider, meaning there was no risk in flying one. It was also really easy to control and there were no real counters to it. It was difficult to shoot down, so the only option Epic Games had was to vault the weapon, and that was a great decision. When the Infinity Blade was first released, it was an awesome addition to the game because we had never had any melee weapons other than our pickaxe, but just like Kevin LaFortnite, we quickly realized this thing was the most OP weapon in the game. The Infinity Blade allowed you to take down opponents in 1 or 2 swipes, and you were able to launch yourself in the air to deliver a powerful strike. If that wasn't enough, the blade could even take down structures in a matter of seconds. There was seemingly nothing this weapon couldn't do. Everyone was complaining about the weapon, which led Epic Games actually apologizing for adding it to the game. It was an unfair advantage for players to use the Infinity Blade, and it would have been better as part of an LTM instead of a part of the main game, which is exactly what Epic Games did. Let's keep it that way. When the guided missile was added into Fortnite in patch 3.4, it was a ridiculously overpowered weapon, so much stronger than it is in this clip from Hollow. Not only could it scout out the area and let you know if enemies were nearby, but it stayed in the air forever and was able to deal some massive damage if it hit your opponents dead on. It was hands down the most overpowered weapon in the game by a country mile, which is why it was nearly immediately vaulted in patch 3.5. Epic even said it themselves that it was OP. It has come back in the game, but was put back into the vault again not too long after. The guided missile was a neat idea, but it just didn't work out, and we don't think it'll be leaving the vault anytime soon. But enough about weapons they took out of the game. How's about we get into some weapons that Epic Games added to Fortnite? Let's start with the Heavy Sniper, one of Wizite's favorite weapons. While the bolt action was great and all, it required a headshot to take out an opponent in one hit, which wasn't the easiest thing in the world to land. With the Heavy Sniper, you have a weapon that deals 150 damage to the body, which means it could one-shot someone even if they have full health and half shield, just by hitting their foot or hand. It sounds OP, but it wasn't, because the Heavy Sniper is one of the rarest weapons in the game, only having epic and legendary variants. Your best chance of getting one is through a supply drop or by eliminating a player with one in their inventory. Yup, it's that rare because it's that powerful. Another great weapon Epic Games added to Fortnite were the pump shotgun variants. At first, we only had common, uncommon, and rare variants. They were awesome, and just like Daquan Loco, we were obsessed with having them in our inventory, but we questioned why we didn't have any epic or legendary variants of the gun. Instead of just getting higher rarity pump shotguns, we got some other shotguns like the heavy shotgun and the double barrel shotgun. They were good, but why have completely unique shotguns when you could just make stronger pump shotguns? We liked the diversity, but it was just unnecessarily complicated. To simplify things for everyone, Epic Games decided to vault those shotguns and introduced epic and legendary pump shotgun variants. It took them long enough to give us what we want, jeez. There were way too many epic and legendary shotguns, and now we have just 2 of them, which is perfect. Season 5 introduced us to our favorite purple cube, who later became known as Kevin because, well, he looked like a Kevin to us. As Exity shows us, this guy had one heck of an incredible journey in the Fortnite world. It all began when a rift formed atop of a mountain just outside of Paradise Palms and started shooting lightning. Players knew something was going to happen on the mountaintop, they just didn't know what. All of a sudden, one lightning strike lasted a real long time and gave birth to Kevin the Purple Cube. The cube then started rotating every 90 minutes or so, and it made its way around the map, but we had no idea where it was going until it dove into the loot lake, started carrying an island around the map, and then it exploded. Wait, what? We wouldn't be surprised if he made a return at some point. When we got pets in Season 6, we were so pumped. Now, we wouldn't actually be playing a game solo because we'd have our pet on our back. There's a dog, chameleon, or dragon that you, for some reason, could decide to bring with you on the battlefield. Showcased here by GameSpot Gameplay, we don't quite understand why you'd bring a living thing with you to an island where everyone's trying to eliminate each other to be the last one standing, but they're just so darn cute. You have Bonesy, the cute little puppy who's a play on the word Jonesy, the blonde no-skinner dude. We promise his bark is much stronger than his bite. Then you have Camo, the chameleon. What an original name, epic. And last but not least, there's Scales the dragon. There's even more pets in the game now, but these are the OG 3 that we'll remember forever. Fortnite players have been asking for gun customization for so long, and we finally got it in Season 7. As Kobe's Mind shows us, wraps are essentially skins for your guns. There are just so many wraps that you could unlock to spice up the look of your weapons, and the customization doesn't just end there though, because you could apply a different wrap to any type of weapon. Shotguns, SMGs, rifles, and snipers could each have their own wrap. Of course, you could also make each of them have the same wrap, but where's the fun in that? On top of all this, you could even use wraps on vehicles, meaning the customization options are nearly endless. Maybe we'll even be able to buy wraps from the item shop in the future too. Hey, think about it. It'll give Epic Games even more money. After all, the cash cow does need some milking. Fortnite loves memes. Season 8 is all about memes at this point anyway, with conga lines, banana skins, and players not even trying to get a win, but just using the game to hang out with friends. One of the earliest Fortnite memes was thanking the bus driver. Here's a guy who's busting his butt flying a hot air balloon bus so 100 people can drop down to an island and fight to be the last one standing or last team standing. With new games starting every second of every day, these guys don't ever stop working. Sure, it's probably not the same driver every single time, but we hope Epic Games pays these guys very well for their service. In the game, you were never able to let the bus driver know that you care, so they added a feature that allows you to thank the bus driver, because without them, none of this would be possible. Believe it or not, in Seasons 1 and 2 of Fortnite, the game was far from optimized. On PC, you could always up the frame rate and get it running at a smooth and crisp 60 frames per second, but console players weren't as lucky. The game was stuck at 30 FPS for the first 2 seasons, and that was if you were lucky. Most times it would be under that, but Epic Games were looking to optimize their game, and we knew that they would inevitably up the frame rate to 60 FPS, and that's exactly what they did. The second we started playing Season 3, we noticed a huge improvement in the game. It was so much smoother and responsive that we couldn't get enough of it. There was still lag every now and then. It's a multiplayer game after all, but it wasn't nearly as bad. The game looked great and looks even better today. There were a few interesting things about the early Season 1 days of Fortnite that most of us don't remember. For starters, team killing was a thing. Yup, if you accidentally or purposely shot at your teammate, they would take damage. You could even down a teammate and leave them be if you're one of those types of players. Luckily, you were able to be reported for team killing, so they couldn't just troll everyone and get away with it. In Season 2, they got rid of team killing. From then on, you were able to fire at your teammates and do absolutely no damage. The only way you were able to damage them was by launching them off a cliff with an impulse grenade, and the only way that they could damage you is by being stuck with a clinger and running towards you. Yeah, that was not a fun time at all, but hey, you live and learn, right? Another interesting thing about Season 1 were accuracy issues. Players were having a lot of trouble hitting others, even if their crosshairs lined up right over the player that they were shooting at. Even if they were standing still, shots were missing, and players were outraged, complaining to Epic about how their game is broken and completely unplayable. Sure, it was annoying, but it wasn't nearly as bad as the community was saying. The game was definitely playable, but still, the first shot was often missing completely, and guns like the first AR were completely useless, so Epic Games came up with a fix. In Season 2 onwards, guns had perfect first shot accuracy, meaning the first shot will always hit right where your crosshairs are aiming. The rest might move around a bit due to recoil, but the first one will always connect, which was a much needed addition to Fortnite. As T Martin 2 shows us, Epic Games incorporated Apex Legends' ping system into the game. In Apex Legends, you could ping locations, enemies, weapons, items, and even give more detailed info about your surroundings, making it possible to play the game and communicate with your teammates without even having to get on the mic. In Fortnite, you need to use your mic to have success. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That being said, some of us are shy and more reserved, so we don't feel like talking to randoms. While the ping system in Fortnite isn't nearly as polished as the one in Apex Legends, it's a welcome addition that gives those of us who prefer to stay off the mic a voice. Now, you could ping things to indicate where you want to go and ask players if they want weapons, just like in Apex Legends. Fortnite desperately needed a system like this. In replay mode, you can find something interesting at each and every named location in Fortnite. You can't find any of these trucks in the Battle Royale itself, but they come out to play in replay mode. On top of the truck is a hologram of a player, which reminded us of something from another incredibly popular Battle Royale game, Apex Legends. Now, we're not here to compare the two, but in Apex Legends, you can find respawn beacons all around the map that, well, respawn down teammates. They also have a hologram on top of them, which got people thinking that maybe these trucks are going to be used to respawn fallen teammates in Fortnite. It's still all rumors at this point, but it'd be an interesting addition that might help end the thirsting epidemic we're currently dealing with in Fortnite. We'll still get thirsted, but at least we'll be able to come back. And those are some of the best additions and changes Epic Games has made to Fortnite. Do you agree with our list? Are there any awesome changes to the game that we may have missed? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to CBR for more Fortnite videos. Thanks for watching.